How did you know?
I'm a detective.
I'd like to help if I can.
Hello there, welcome back to Sightless Gamer Hag and welcome back to Murder Mystery Monday. We are playing Murder on the Orient Express. We're about to go and confront some people. So last time, we interrogated everybody, found out that so many people were involved in... I have finally completed my investigation. All of the passengers were guilty, even the conductor. The motive is clear. They were all connected to the Armstrong case. They wanted revenge on the monster who kidnapped and killed Daisy Armstrong. So we're going to go and talk to them, and we're going to conclude our investigation and go from there. Where is everybody? We got everybody settled last time, and I can't remember where they are. Are they all in the lounge? I'm going to confront some people. But yeah, everybody's connected in some way. It's a confrontation. Okay.
Monsieur Bouc, are the train crew locked in their quarters?
Yes, they are.
I'm pretty sure I've just walked past
Stage is
Rocher.
set for the final act. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gathered you together to hear my reconstruction of the murder of Samuel Edward Rachell, also known as Cassetti. There is not one, but two possible solutions of the crime. I shall put them both before you, and I shall ask Monsieur Bouc and Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the correct one.
Two solutions?
Mr. Poirot, I am hardly qualified.
Nevertheless, your assistance is required.
Well, everyone's very nervous. They're like, oh, can we overpower him?
You all know the facts of the case. Rachell was found stabbed to death this morning. He was last known to be alive at 12:37 a.m. last night, when he spoke to the wagon-lit conductor through the door. His watch was found to be badly dented, and it had stopped at 1:15. Dr. Constantine, who examined the body, puts the time of death as having occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning. At half an hour after midnight, as you all know, the train ran into a snowdrift. After that time, it was impossible for anyone to leave the train. So, here is my first theory. The enemy, as Rachell expected, joined the train at Vinkovsky by the door left open by Captain Arbuthnot and Monsieur McQueen, who had just descended to the platform. He was equipped with a wagon-lit jacket, which he wore over his ordinary clothes, and a pass key which enabled him to gain access to Rachell's compartment in spite of the doors being locked. Rachell was under the influence of a sleeping draught. This man stabbed him with great ferocity, 12 wounds in all. He left the compartment through the communicating door to Madame Hubbard's compartment.
Yes, that's so. Scared me half out of my wits.
The murderer thrust the dagger he had used into Mrs. Hubbard's handbag in passing. Without knowing it, he lost a button of his uniform. Then he slipped out of the compartment and along the corridor. He put the uniform jacket into Detective Locke's suitcase to cast suspicion on her. And a few minutes later, dressed in his ordinary clothes, he left the train just before it started off again, using the same means for egress, the door near the dining car. That is the first hypothesis. But there's a second. For that, we must examine the motive for the crime. Why was Rachell killed?
Revenge.
The motive is clear. Revenge, of course. Nothing was stolen, and we know that Rachell had made many enemies. authorities. This was a premeditated crime, meticulously planned.
When was the crime planned? Just before departure from Istanbul, several months before departure. Several months.
Since the kidnapping and death of little Daisy Armstrong, which traumatized many people close to the family.
Yeah, because the
Even
entire
when
family
the
ended up dead.
police concluded that it was Suzanne Moreau, questions remained. Detective Locke continued her investigation, as did others. They became convinced the truth lay elsewhere. We now know who the real murderer of Daisy is.
Who is Daisy's murderer? Susan Moreau or Rachell? It's
It
Rachell.
is clear now that Daisy's killer was Rachell, also known as Cassetti and Michael Clark and how many other names. But of course, many of you have known this for a long time. It is obvious that the 12 stab wounds are not a random number. Dr. Constantine's analysis revealed that some stab wounds appeared to have been caused by a right-handed attacker. Others indicated the knife wielder was left-handed. Some wounds were deep, more than one fatal, yet others were not much more than mere scratches. What can explain these discrepancies? This leads us to an obvious conclusion. They are symbolic.
What do 12 stabs symbolise? Daisy's age or a jury in the United States? I think it's 12.
Stabs.
There we go.
12. The same number as a trial jury in the United States. But not just a jury of 12 members condemning him to death, but 12 executioners as well. This self-appointed jury had meticulously planned for everything except
Snow.
snow. The avalanche that stopped us, as well as the presence of not one but two detectives on the train. They had to improvise, to hastily add clues and false leads.
The red kimono, the broken watch, the vaping liquid, the conductor's jacket.
This woman in a red kimono does not exist. I don't know which of the passengers it was. It does not really matter. It was just a performance, a charade to introduce another possible culprit to muddy the waters.
Although we never really spoke about it. The broken watch.
Time on Ratchet's broken watch was deliberately set to conceal the true time of the crime.
Vaping liquid.
Vial of vaping liquid incriminated Captain Arbuthnot. However, he had a solid alibi confirmed by Monsieur McQueen. Impossible then to suspect him.
The conductor's jacket.
The conductor's jacket, found in Detective Locke's suitcase, was put there only to cast suspicion upon her. All these false leads were intended for me. But I am Poirot. I understood the truth. We have a train full of suspects. It's
Yes, we
time
do.
to identify who the real culprits are. Let's start with Detective Locke.
She was drugged. Did Detective... No. She was drugged.
Planting the conductor's jacket in her suitcase was an attempt to implicate Detective Locke, but she couldn't fake her drugged condition. Dr. Constantine can testify that the drugged tea incapacitated
Very nearly
her
overdosed
for
her.
hours, and she had 2 relapses. Let us move on to Monsieur McQueen. When I told him about Cassetti, he looked very surprised that I managed to make the connection between him and the Armstrong case. He told me, "But I thought we had..." I think he meant...
I thought we had eliminated all clues. I thought we'd already arrested a culprit. All clues.
You thought you didn't leave any real clues linking the murder to the Armstrong kidnapping. Moreover, you insisted that Rachel did not speak French when you knew I had heard a voice calling out in French that was supposed to be Rachell.
Did Mr. McQueen stab Ratchet? Yes, he did. Here's what implicates Mr. McQueen. The torn photo, his father, Ratchet's secretary. His
You
father.
took some pleasure in leaving me false clues, I think. It was quite annoying. But you told me yourself that your father was the district attorney who handled the Armstrong case.
The case haunted my father. At first, he believed Suzanne Moreau had helped her boyfriend, Noah, to kidnap Daisy, even though there were questions that went unanswered, and a young policewoman refused to let it go, continuing to find discrepancies, but never enough to reopen the official investigation.
That policewoman sits there. Her name is Joanna Locke.
Then tell him. Tell him how in the end my father believed you, how he resigned a job that he loved, racked with guilt that he may have let that monster go free. He died young, broken, his faith in justice broken. That's what Ratchet did to him.
Thank you for your honesty, Monsieur McQueen. Your father is one more victim of the man who called himself Ratchet. Now, I will turn to Ratchet's valet, Monsieur Masterman.
Yes. What implicates Mr. Masterman? The Ratchet's valet, the toothache, the sleeping pills. The sleeping pills, I
Ratchet
think?
sensed danger close to him and naturally wanted to stay awake. You gave him sleeping pills without his knowledge. Once he was sound asleep, you could do what you had to do in peace.
Sir, I'll tell you the truth. I was Colonel Armstrong's adjutant in the war, sir, and afterwards, I was his valet in New York. I'm afraid I concealed the fact this morning. It was very wrong of me, sir, but I knew how suspicious it would look.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all, sir.
What war?
Now, to leave no
Obviously this is set.
suspicious stone unturned,
The original story
let us
was
move on to Monsieur
World War
Book.
II, post-World War II.
Me?
This is supposed to be set in 2017. No. What is the proof that clears book? He found me a room on the train. He wouldn't have done that if he
My
was...
friend, of course you are not guilty. You did everything you could to get me on this
I
train.
wouldn't have done
What
that.
madness would cause you to ensure, and I speak with all modesty, that the best detective in the world could be present to witness your crime.
But doesn't our friendship count as well?
Most assuredly, but a murderer can wear all sorts of masks, including friendship. Let us consider our ever-efficient wagon-lit conductor, Pierre Michel.
Yeah. What implicates him? He drugged Miss Locke, staff member, father of Miss Moreau. I would say that he drugged Miss
Your
Locke.
admission that you drugged Detective Locke immediately incriminates you, but the murder could not have been possible without your very capable assistance. Your knowledge of train procedures made the murder possible, and your position in the corridor of the train allowed you to be the perfect alibi for several passengers. And your motive? Suzanne Moreau, Daisy Armstrong's poor nanny, who was wrongly accused and committed suicide, was your daughter.
C'est un foiré. He got what he deserved. My poor daughter has finally been avenged. My Suzanne. My child.
Let's move on now to Monsieur Hardman, one of 3 detectives on this train.
Yeah. I would say yes. What implicates Mr. Hardman? Mr. Michel's testimony. He pretends to be a salesman. He is a detective. I would say that Michel's testimony
Monsieur
convicts
Hardman,
him.
I think you are a real detective, but you were never hired by Ratchet. Your alibi was that you were watching the corridor to protect Ratchet, which, of course, you never did. You protected Pierre Michel. However, we just saw that his alibi doesn't hold up, so neither does yours.
I don't know about the conductor.
Being Suzanne's fiancé, you had a substantial motive to punish Rachell. You used your detective skills, just as Detective Locke did, to hunt him down and finally avenge the death of your beloved.
That's right, Mr. Poirot. I do have some detective skills.
I never doubted it.
Aww.
Now, Fraulein Schmidt, the lady's maid with the soul of a cook.
I'm saying yeah. What implicates Miss Smith? Lied about Princess Dragomoff's handkerchief. Princess Dragomoff's assistant drugged Miss Locke. I'm going to say again that it
Fraulein
was a
Schmidt,
drug thing.
You told me of your remorse for drugging Detective Locke. I believe you are sincere. However, as the cook of the Armstrong family, you experienced the drama from within. The death of Daisy, then Sonia Armstrong, who died in childbirth, and finally, Suzanne and John Armstrong.
So much misfortune in that poor family. The death of this criminal is only justice.
Let us move on to Countess Andreni.
Do you know what? I'm not
I was
sure.
impressed by the earnestness of her husband when he swore to me solemnly on his honor that his wife never left her compartment that night.
I think he was telling the truth.
Should I believe it?
I think that he stabbed Rachell on her behalf. What clears the Countess? Marilyn capable of stabbing, too weak to stab. She's... do you know what? I don't know, so I'm just going to split the difference. I'm going to pick the middle one.
Countess Andreni, being Sonia Armstrong's sister, you
That
had
one I'm not
every
too sure
reason
about.
in the world to want to avenge her. But you were incapable
I think
of
he did it on
stabbing
her
someone,
behalf.
even after what he had done to you and your family. The night of the crime, you simply took a sleeping pill. I appreciate the irony that nearby, Detective Locke was also in a drugged sleep. When you awoke, you thought the nightmare was over.
Rudolph?
Hush, my love. Hush.
Excellent transition. I was coming to you, Count Andreni.
Yeah, I think he did it on her behalf. Why did Count Andreni stab Rachell? He didn't like his face. He replaced Mrs. Andreni. He's athletic. He replaced her.
12 people, a jury.
Yeah. Okay.
This was very important to all of you. If Countess Andreni did not stab Rachell, someone had to take her place. And you, Count, the beloved husband. I've
That sounds
seen
plausible.
How fiercely you love and protect your wife.
Enough! I would do anything for Helena. Anything. Even that.
Yes, even that. Let's move on to Monsieur Foscarelli.
Yeah. What implicates Mr. Foscarelli? Miss Locke's investigation. He's Italian. He's athletic. Her investigation.
Detective Locke found out that you were the Armstrong chauffeur, and that you planned to travel on the same train at the same time as Rachell. That is what made her decide to obtain a ticket as well. Unfortunately, she could not prevent the murder. Have you lost your tongue, Mr. Foscarelli?
Oh, Daisy. She was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me. And she would sit in the car and pretend to drive me.
And you, Mademoiselle Olson. A champion for the immigrants. A worthy calling.
Yeah, I think she did. What implicates Miss Olson? Miss Debenham's alibi. She's reserved. Miss Hubbard's latch. The latch. She did lie about her.
Mademoiselle Olson, you supported Madame Hubbard's story about her connecting door latch. A story that I later demonstrated to be impossible. So, you deliberately lied to me, and you also lied about Mademoiselle Debenham's whereabouts.
Enough! I can't take this anymore. I know what you want from me, Mr. Poirot. Very well. Here it is. She was my little Daisy, my angel, so patient. When I patched a scrape or took her temperature, that was my job. But she was so much more to me. She was a shining light in an ever-darkening world. I've tried to honor her by caring for children who have lost everything.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Olsen. You too shed light on your part in this mystery.
What was Miss Olsen's occupation? She was the nanny of Daisy. She was the nurse of Daisy.
You were Daisy Armstrong's
Because
nurse.
Nanny was
I will ask you no
the
more
girl who died.
questions. It is enough that you have admitted what
Suzanne.
I know to be the truth, and I understand. Let's move on. Dr. Constantine.
You suspect me? I know none of these people. I didn't know Rachell either, and I've taken a solemn oath to help people, not murder them.
I would say no. What is the evidence that clears Book's testimony? He's a doctor's assistant. I'm pretty sure I remember Book and Constantine were together.
You are one of the few people in this room not to have any connection with the Armstrong case. Moreover, your alibi is confirmed by Monsieur Book, whom I would trust with my life.
That is very kindly said, my friend.
We now come to Mademoiselle Debenham and Captain Arbuthnot, whose relationship was not in doubt from the moment I inspected your room at the hotel.
You have a bloody nerve.
Indeed, I do. Congratulations. But I would rather talk about your relationship to John Armstrong.
What links Captain Arbuthnot to John Armstrong? Cook, cousin, brother, driver, lover, secretary, soldiers, gardener. I would say that they were soldiers together. That's the most likely explanation. Captain.
again. That happens to me a lot. Captain Arbuthnot, you served in the army with John Armstrong. What I don't understand is why a man your age is still a captain. One might expect you to be a colonel as well.
Ever fought in a war, Poirot?
It was war that first brought me to England.
Then you know what it's like. There's a shattering sound, and death, and mistakes, acting on intelligence that proved to be wrong. I sent a patrol to their death. Good men, brave men, wasted. John testified on my behalf at a court-martial. I'm not a colonel. I don't deserve to be, you bloody fool. But I'm also not in prison. John remained my best friend until... There, you have my story. Understand now?
Archie, calm down, please.
You're right, Mary. What you see in me, I don't understand.
Oh, Archie, I see in you what John saw.
Oh,
Miss
sweet.
Debenham, I'm sorry.
My turn, is it?
I'm afraid so. And you have caused me quite a puzzlement.
Hmm.
Your connection with the Armstrong family was not obvious. Then I remembered the job you currently hold.
Oh, she's a teacher. So the options are nanny, teacher, cook, cousin, sister, nurse, gardener, secretary. She's a teacher. But whose teacher was she?
That's the right answer. You were the teacher of...
Daisy Armstrong, Helena Adrienne. I would... Do you know what? I'm going to lean towards the mother rather than Daisy, because if she'd have been Daisy's teacher, there would have been more evidence towards that.
You were the teacher of
Would have been a bit more
Helena
obvious.
Andrény, whose maiden name was Helena Goldenberg before she married Count Andrény.
Yes, absolutely. Why lie to you? She was an excellent student.
Captain Arbuthnot.
Okay, yeah, he did. He did. What implicates him? The vape liquid, He is military. Mr. McQueen's testimony. Yeah, I would say Mr. McQueen's testimony, because if you take for a fact that McQueen is guilty of the stabbing, then his alibi
You had
is
one of the
worthless.
strongest alibis, thanks to Mr. McQueen. But his testimony melted like a snowflake. There went your alibi. Poof. Unless you have another one. As for you, Mademoiselle Debenham,
Did she? I would say yeah, because again, her alibi is based on someone that we know. What accuses Miss Debenham? Words at Istanbul Station, Arbuthnot, Miss Olsen's testimony. So yeah, again,
Mademoiselle Olsen was the only one who could confirm your alibi.
if you
I
assume
think
that the
you know
alibis are
where
not
you stand.
alibis,
Very good,
then
Mr. Poirot. Are you satisfied?
I will be soon. Now I must turn to Sonia Armstrong's godmother, Princess Dragomirov.
do you know what? Yeah, I would say yeah. She's the only one we've had that's left-handed. What implicates Princess Dragomirov? She is left-handed. Miss Smith's testimony, woman with character. Any of those, but I would say solidly that she's
Princess
left-handed.
Dragomirov, you weren't on my list of suspects at the start, given your social position.
I left my social position in a cold country.
Do you object to being addressed as princess?
I deny people the opportunity. It makes a good story to tell their friends. It also guarantees a good table in the best restaurants.
Princess, there is also, forgive me, your extreme physical fragility.
It does not stop me when I must be strong.
Indeed. Of more importance, though, is the fact that you're the only left-handed person on the train. And the single blow to Rachell from a left-handed person was very, forgive me, weak. Finally, I'm afraid I know the alibi that you shared with
Who's that?
Fraulein Schmidt is false.
You have been very thorough, sir. I hope you will permit me to say we are much alike.
I am honored.
Who is left?
Now it is time to end with
Ah.
Mrs. Hubbard, or should I say,
What is Mrs. Hubbard's real name? Sonia Armstrong, Linda Arden. Was Linda Arden the actress? Yeah.
Linda Arden.
Did I get it right?
If
Am I right?
Princess Dragomirov hadn't told me about her relationship with this famous actress, I might not have made the connection. But you are a great actress, madame. Your performance as a flighty,
Oh, that makes her the
self-involved woman
mother's
was
mother.
superb.
She's grandmother.
I never would have guessed something entirely different. As for what ties you to the Armstrong family, it is obvious.
She is. So we've got mother of Daisy, godmother of Daisy, godmother of Mrs. Drenny. She's Mrs. Drenny's mother. Aunt of Mrs. Drenny, nanny of Sonia, Sonia's mother. She's Sonia's mother. She's Sonia's mother. That must have been hard to be that close to her other daughter and not let on.
Mrs. Hubbard, you are the mother of Sonia Armstrong and Mrs. Andreni.
Yeah, she did. What implicates Mrs. Hubbard? Linda Arden, the proximity to Rachell, the toilet bag hiding the latch. I would say all of those are pretty solid, but the whole latch toilet bag thing, that's the easiest to prove.
Madame Hubbard, you really are a remarkable actress. You put so much effort into your character and into staging the murder. I saw it as a perfect mosaic, each person playing his or her allotted part. So carefully arranged that if suspicion should fall on any one person, the evidence of one or more of the others would clear the accused person and confuse the issue. Everything was meticulously planned. But you hadn't expected that Detective Locke and I would be on this train, and the avalanche would block it on the night of the murder. You had to improvise. But again, improvisation would be another of your skills as an actress. So, you came up with the story that the latch on the door that communicated with Ratchet's compartment was hidden by the handbag.
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. That slip about the sponge bag was silly. Shows you should always rehearse properly. You know all about it, Mr. Poirot. You're a very wonderful man, but even you can't quite imagine what it was like. That awful day. I was just crazy with grief. So were the servants. We decided then and there that the sentence of death that Ratchet had escaped had got to be carried out. There were 12 of us. Or rather 11. Suzanne's father was over in France, of course. First we thought we'd draw lots as to who should do it, but in the end we decided on this way. It was the driver, Antonio, who suggested it. Mary worked out all the details later with Hector McQueen. It took a long time to perfect our plan. We first had to track Ratchet down. Hardman managed that in the end. Then we had to try and get Edward and Hector into his employment. Well, we managed that. Then we had a consultation with Suzanne's father. Captain Arbuthnot was very keen on having 12 of us. He seemed to think it made it more orderly. He didn't like the stabbing idea much. But he agreed that it did solve most of our difficulties. Well, Suzanne's father was willing. Suzanne had been his only child. We knew from Hector that Ratchet would be coming back from the east, sooner or later, by the Orient Express. With Pierre Michel actually working on that train, the chance was too good to be missed. My daughter's husband had to know, of course, and he insisted on coming on the train with her. Hector wrangled it so that Ratchet selected the right day for traveling when Michel would be on duty. And then, at the last minute, you came. For the rest of the story, you worked out everything, Mr. Poirot. You were right about all of us. What are you going to do about it? If it must all come out, can't you lay the blame upon me, and me only? I would have stabbed that man 12 times willingly. It wasn't only that he was responsible for my daughter's death, and her child's, and that of the other child, who might have been alive and happy now. It was more than that. There had been other children kidnapped before Daisy, and there might be others in the future. Society had condemned him. We were only carrying out the sentence, but it's unnecessary
Difficult,
to bring
isn't
all
it?
these others into it. All these good, faithful souls.
You are a director of the company, Monsieur Bouc. What do you say?
He's quite soft-hearted book.
In my opinion, Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one. Decidedly so. I suggest that that is the solution we offer to the police. You agree, Doctor?
Certainly, I agree. As regards the medical evidence, I think that I made one or two fantastic suggestions.
Then, having placed my solution before you, I have the honor to retire from the case.
Latest potatoes. See, how would that work in this day and age, though? So, obviously, didn't get make any mistakes there. Very nice. So, obviously, back when this was written, things were a little bit different.
I'm sorry to wake you up in the middle of the night, Poirot, but it couldn't wait. There was a detail that bothered me in my preliminary autopsy of Ratchet's body. I went back to examine the body and I discovered a wound covered by another. The blow I hadn't seen was delivered by a thinner, sharper blade. So there were not 12, but 13 stab wounds.
12 stabs for 12 jurors. It doesn't work with 13 wounds. The symmetry is destroyed.
It can't be one of the culprits who stabbed him twice?
Doctor, a different knife was used. There is only one explanation. Somehow, some way, there is a 13th murderer on this train. We must tell Bouc. The case is not solved.
Wow. Orient Express, December 18th, 2023, 9 a.m. So yeah, how would this work in 2023? Because obviously back when this was written, evidence, all that kind of stuff, very, very different.
Please come in.
You wouldn't have forensics and DNA and all that kind of stuff. But we have that now.
At last.
Yes. The way was finally cleared while we slept. If all goes well, we will arrive in Venice this evening. The train will be there for several hours for refueling and reprovisioning. What do we do with the 13th murderer? Do you have a lead?
I thought about it. There is one clue that was left aside in my investigation. The diary I found in Ratchet's safe mentioned an appointment in Venice. Someone with the initials A.W. He will never keep the appointment. But there should be enough time. I must try to keep that appointment for him.
Okay. Let's inspect the planner. Can we open it? How do we open it? There we go. Let's have a look. Call Cairo, check carpets, delivery, Orient Express, call DC, check money, debrief with H, arrive in Venice, confirm flight. Fontana de Conigle. Okay. So we know that it's Venice. Meeting point. Fountain. Oh, I need to check the date. Hang on. Private. Can I go back? Yes, I can. So Venice is the 20th. Meet AW at 10 o'clock. The 18th. Okay. Okay. The 18th at 10 p.m. There we go. So we've done that. Let's go and speak to the doctor. Where's my door? How do I get out? Where is the doctor? Is he in his room? Oh. Let's check if he's in his room before we go all the way up there. Yeah, so I don't know how it would, like, in the original, they would have just kind of taken Hercule's word for it. I think there wouldn't have been a huge amount of investigation, blah, 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 but in this day and age, I don't think that that would be a thing, you know what I mean? So you have to suspend a little bit of disbelief. Okay, he's not here, so let's go and see if he's in the lounge. Yeah, you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit and be like, oh yeah, okay. It's a hard situation, because, like, they took it upon themselves to murder him. He was a very bad man. He killed that child in a horrific way, and he destroyed an entire family. It's hard, isn't it? Okay.
Doctor, a moment. Have you made arrangements for Ratchet's body?
Yes, it will be collected by the Italian authorities when we reach Venice. The autopsy will be performed there. However, there is something odd.
Oh?
Since the train is French, jurisdiction must be shared. When I told them you were already on the scene, they have both agreed to support your investigation until we reach Paris. Ratchet's compartment will be sealed until we arrive there. All of those who conspired to kill Ratchet are to be confined to the train until then as well.
So, thanks to you, I am the rope in a tug-of-war between two countries.
Oh, but I thought you would want to be in charge. And isn't it odd we continue on our journey with a trainload of people that police consider potential murderers?
Calm yourself, Doctor. It is not the first time I find myself in the middle. And, to be honest, I welcome the chance to see this case through. It is fast becoming one of the most challenging of my career.
Okay. Let's go and talk to... I don't want to talk to anyone else. Let's go and talk to the detective because I feel like she would kind of...
Mademoiselle Locke, you are clearly an excellent police officer. Could you accompany me to Venice for an investigation into Ratchet's activities? There is much we still need to know.
Well, yes. It would be an honor to work with you. And I'm glad you trust me. What do you have in mind?
There was a notation in Ratchet's appointment book. He had an appointment.
With who?
There were only the initials A.W. They were to meet at 10 o'clock at the Fontana dei Conigli. I want to know who Ratchet was meeting and why.
But you've already discovered the 12 conspirators. Why is this meeting important?
Unfortunately, the case is not complete. Dr. Constantine has discovered the presence of a 13th
This is a very
stab.
clever way to
One of them could
update
have stabbed him twice.
the story.
One was made with another, finer blade. Why would one of them have used two knives? Did they want to confess they killed him more than the others? And if so, why bother to deny it when they have already confessed? No, it makes no sense. And I do not close a case until all questions have been answered.
So
You
when
of
was he
all
stabbed?
people must understand this.
You're right.
Potentially
I
he could
do
have been stabbed in the
understand.
hotel.
I'll help
Not
you.
realised. It happens.
Together, we will uncover the truth. We will arrive in a few hours. Take the opportunity to rest.
I slept well last night. No more effects of the drug.
Excellent. Then be prepared when we reach Venice. We have another mystery to solve.
Dun dun dun.
This is the third embarking dock, and no gondoliers available at all.
Venice, December 18th.
With Carnival, you can't find a gondolier to cross that damn canal. They're all booked.
That looks so fun.
The worst thing is that the fountain is just across this canal. We're almost there.
Can't get over what they've dressed Poirot in. Feels like a crime. Okay. Where are we? Where are we?
I see a gondolier just over there.
Where is he? Look at all these people partying. It's a bit dark for me. Where would he be?
It's impossible to find a gondolier during Carnival.
Okay, random. Oh, one over
It's
here.
calm and relaxing, although not as clean as it could be.
Oh, there he is. Sorry, that's my bad eyes. It's too dark for me to see. Oh, I can't pass her now. What the hell? Bonjour.
Hi there. We'd like to cross the canal, please.
There is a bridge about a kilometer down the canal.
Please. According to the map, the Fontana dei Conigli is just across the canal here.
No, I, Gabriele, cannot help you. I'm sorry.
We'll miss the 10 o'clock rendezvous if we try to get through this crowd, and have to walk a kilometer in both directions. Why is he refusing to take us across? He looks upset. I should try to find out why.
Money?
If it's a matter of price, I'm sure we can work it out.
Money? Money won't help me now.
His problem isn't money. What is it then?
Okay. Let's have a little look. What's that down there?
Bella Chiara, the beautiful Chiara. A beautiful name for a beautiful gondola.
Or potentially a beautiful girlfriend or wife. Let's have a look. What have we got down here? Some very flat flowers.
A beautiful bouquet crushed by revelers.
Oh, I think I know what his problem is. He's got a lady problem. What is the gondolier's problem? He had a fight with his girlfriend who ruined his bouquet of flowers. Had a fight with his girlfriend. And I would say that her name is Chiara.
Excellent.
The detective gets it right.
Okay, that's a bit random, but okay. Bonjour. Gonna give you a bit of life advice. Chiara.
I'm sorry you had a fight with Chiara.
What? How did you know?
I'm a detective.
I'd like to help if I can.
If you have a spare engagement ring, detective, I'll take it.
Ah, I see. You lost the engagement ring you were planning to give Chiara?
Lost? It is worse than that. I threw it away in the canal. I bitterly regret this gesture. I now find myself without a girlfriend and without a ring.
Okay, I think we can find that. So he threw it in the canal. Let's go and have a look at some of the pier.
If we find the ring, maybe the gondolier will take us across.
You are right. There is not much time. I will help you.
Okay. So he said he threw it off the pier. So let's go and check the other thing over here. Let's go chase some pigeons. Okay. I like pigeons. Okay. Look around. Oh, there's some trash here. Okay. That looks like a ring box. It is! Yeah! I'm glad I didn't have to go fucking miles looking for that.
I know someone who'll be happy.
Okay, let's pick it up. Glad I didn't have to look at everything else. There we go, that's fairly quick, that's fine. Use my logic. But he could have done that a bit. Excuse-moi. Ooh, try not to fall in the pier, in the water. Bonjour. Allons-y. Here you go.
Excuse me. I believe I have something that belongs to you.
Be a bit more careful with it.
Mamma mia, grazie mille, signorina. With this, I can now win
You're
my
welcome.
Chiara's heart again. I know it. How to thank you?
My
Take
friend
me
and I
over
need
there.
to get to the other side. We have a very important date at the Fontana di Conigli.
Ah, yes. The rabbit fountain. Of course, I'll take you across. Then I will
Nice.
call Chiara. Hopefully she will forgive me.
I'm sure she will.
Well done, Detective Locke.
Okay.
Extract.
This district of Venice is very charming. You will love it.
Is it true that Venice is sinking? I've heard this a few times. This is something I'll have to look up, I think. I did go to Italy many, many years ago. We didn't go to Venice, it was mostly Rome. It was for some...
If it's not too much to ask, can you wait for us until we return?
Yes, no worries. I can call Chiara from here. To find the fountain, walk along the quay on the left, then cross the bridge and you are there. You cannot miss it.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Signorina. You have made me the happiest gondolier in Venice.
It was some
Yes,
for
I
some youth
assure
group
you,
thing.
I found your ring.
Okay, let's talk to Monsieur Poirot.
You
Hello.
have my full confidence, mademoiselle. I'll leave it to you.
Okay, so we need to walk down the quay on the left. Let's check our mind map first of all. Find the fountain. I just found the Fontaine de Conigli. It means the rabbit's fountain in Italian. Gabriel told me find the fountain, walk along the quay on the left, cross the bridge and you're there. You can't miss it. So, quay on the left. Key on the left. It should be this way. Lady checking her phone over the bridge. That doesn't look like a rabbit fountain, or is it? Oh no, it is. Okay.
It's 9:55. The right time in the right place. Now AW just needs to show up.
You made me run, Detective Locke. Poirot does not run. I'll wait, sitting down.
Okay. Discover who they are. Let's have a look. How would we do that? Let's go speak to... We can't just ask random people. Don't think that's going to work. Let's talk to Poirot first.
Did you see anyone who could be AW?
No, no one. But who knows what those masks and costumes are hiding?
Is there a hotel or something close by? Souvenirs. Potentially.
If there's no one to help me, they won't mind if I help myself.
Andrew Riley. Aziz Wadid.
Aziz Wadi. That's the only name that corresponds to the initials AW.
Paziente, non ti ho sentito. Posso aiutarla?
How to start the discussion? The fountain?
Hello. I'm looking for the Fontana dei Conigli. Do you know where it is?
Ah, it's right in front of the hotel. It's easy to recognize because of the rabbits.
Thank you. I had an appointment with someone, but I can't find him. I wondered if he might be staying in your hotel.
I can't help you unless you give me the name.
Aziz Wadi.
I have an appointment with Mr. Aziz Wadi. Do you know if he's here?
Well, unfortunately, he left the hotel this morning. He seemed to be in a hurry, but he left a carta. You are?
How do I introduce myself? Mrs. Ratchet or Joanne Locke? Mrs. Ratchet?
Mrs. Ratchet.
Mr. Wadi asked me to give the message to the signore, but I suppose this is okay.
Oh, what is this? Let's read this. I think I'm being watched. I changed our meeting place. Alice was sitting on the fountain. She glanced at the statue of the white rabbit. Suddenly the beast hopped away. Alice followed it. Again, let Alice be your guide. After walking through a narrow alley and crossing a bridge, Alice came upon two men who were arguing over who had the tallest hat. Her feet led her back to a narrow alley and then to a small square where she found a cat drinking tea. The mischievous kitty ran into another alley. Alice chased after him. Breathless, Alice arrived in the large square with the barracks for playing card soldiers. Out they came, marching towards her. Alice ran and ran to the end of the quay, and there a large door with a gorgon's face on it demanded a secret code. The code that Alice had been collecting throughout her journey. Okay. Let us go speak to Poirot. We have to change, and then... Oof.
So, mademoiselle, was our mysterious A.W. here?
No, but I managed to get his name, Aziz Wadi, and a letter he wrote for Ratchet. It seems to be a kind of riddle rhyme.
Let me see. Well, Ratchet and Mr. Wadi must love this book to refer to it so much.
Yes, I think we have to search and find the tracks that this person left for Ratchet to find him.
I think so. Lead the way, Mademoiselle Locke.
Okay, so we're starting with a white rabbit and we're at the fountains of the rabbit, so let's have a little look and see if we can find... Oh, there's a white rabbit. Okay, so let's assume that this is our starting point. What's that? So number 2. Let me write that down. Right, so we need to go through the alley that the rabbit is looking at. Is there one here? That one? So let's go through there. And then it was across a bridge, wasn't it? Let's hope there is a bridge along here. Bonjour. I'm not seeing a bridge. Maybe around again? Oh, there's a bridge here. Between those two guys, and then there's a bridge. Over the bridge. Signor's Capel. Oh, hat. Excuse-moi. Oh, what's that number? 8. Man in a tall hat. Okay. Number 8. Right. Where else? Let's have a look at the letter. Can I look at this? Let's go check them out. Right, I'm there. Bridge, we're here. Oh, we need to go this way. This way. There's one. Maybe just go back over the bridge. I was hoping there'd be something there, but no. So let's go back over the bridge. There's Poirot going back over the bridge. And then through the alley. To a small square.
Do you need help, Detective Locke?
It looks like the writer of this letter is quoting Alice in Wonderland.
No, I think it is a pastiche. Monsieur Carroll was a much better writer than this.
It's a riddle. No, a map.
Both. I think Mr. Waddy was worried their business might be known, and has given Ratchet
I'm aware of that,
directions
I just
to
need
a
to
new
work out what the
rendezvous
next
point.
thing is. Okay. Oh, the cat. The cat. Okay. Let's look for something cattish. Go through here. There's... Oh! Hello. There's a square here. What is it likely to be? Giovanni. Oh, art and cat. Okay. 4. Right, so we have cat, and then so gelato. You just stood in between the soldiers.
A place with playing card soldiers. It sounds like a metaphor. What place could make us think of soldiers?
Barracks, but I don't think there is a barracks. So hairdressers are a cat. Let's go check the map. We're there. What we got here? Plaza Delta Polizza. Oh. Okay. Maybe. So if we go this way. This maybe is the plaza we're thinking of. Soldiers, soldiers, soldiers. The capo? What are we looking for, do we think? Police station, maybe? Or barracks, or... What is this? What is this here? Ah, there we go. This is police station. Where would it be? Some playing cards. Ah, number 6. There we go. Number 6. Okay. So we found that. I think we need to go this way. Just gonna follow it all the way down. A waterway. just gonna keep following the water, I think. Excuse-moi, excuse-moi. I'll go that way. No. No. I'm not lost. Where am I? Is this it? 9. Okay. We want 2, 8, 4, 6, 9. Yeah, I can go in. Oh. That wasn't one that I was expecting. Dun dun dun. He just stabbed someone.
Hey, you. I can't lose them.
Fucking nightmare camera angles. Where did he go? This way? Where the fuck did he go? That way? Go left or right?
No.
Left. There he is. Shit. Go. Where the fuck did he go? That way. Where the fuck is he? Oh, there we go.
Move over.
Oh no. Sheet.
Too many! Too many masks! The murderer could be standing there watching me and laughing.
Hmm.
Yes, Detective Locke?
The murderer got away. I'm coming back. But it looked like he dropped something when he climbed the first wall.
All right, I'll go and see. For my part, unfortunately, I could do nothing for the victim. He was already dead. I have already alerted the Italian authorities. I will see what I can find while I wait for them.
That was a nightmare. The camera angles were an absolute fucking nightmare. Okay. Analyze the crime scene. A lot of some sunglasses.
A pair of women's glasses. Was Rachell planning a new identity? There must be several tens of thousands of dollars in this bag.
Okay, let's go have a look at the body.
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case.
Kind of looks like Ratchet. What have we got in here? Some keys.
A bunch of keys. If, as seems likely, Mr. Wadi is a resident of Geneva, then one of these may belong to his home there.
Okay.
Various clothes in his suitcase. Mr. Wadi was obviously planning to leave this city. Mr. Wadi's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity.
Okay, so his name was Aziz Wadi. His was it Geneva? There you go.
I do not think that's the right
What?
answer.
Let's have a look. 1978. Swiss passport. Yeah, he was Swiss. Oh, have I spelled his name wrong? Yeah, there we go. That was my brain just like
My little grey cells did not
flipping
let me
over the
down.
detail. Anything I missed here? Let's go see. He jumped over a thing. Where did he go? So he stabbed him. And then he ran. Ran this way. This way. And jumped over a wall. There we go. Oh, passporto. Ah.
A false passport with Ratchet's picture. Clark, Ratchet. How many others? Now he will become Enrico Caldo. It appears Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
Because he's a criminal? Okay. So we've analysed the crime scene. Intuition allows you to draw your own from a deal with Cairo or from the Armstrong case ransom.
This is the most likely answer.
Okay.
I'm sorry I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous.
They were terrible. I couldn't see where I was going.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little grey cells were enough. However, the database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
Find serial numbers of the dollar bills among the photos of Joanne's phone. Inspect. What we got here? Let's have a look what we've got here. NA, NA, NA. So we've got an NA down here. L7, no, 2152. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. NA215.
That's it. No rookie mistake there.
215s. These are all 215s, aren't they? NA215G.
Score. 1 for the good guys. The detective gets it right.
There we
Mr.
go.
Poirot, it's part of the ransom money from the Armstrong case.
You are surprised?
I suppose not. So Rachell had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so. He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it. So, he stashed it there.
But now he's run low. Something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
There is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
But
could it
we
be?
progress. We know Mr. Wadi had an appointment with Rachel. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
Ratchet wants to disappear again, hiding behind another fake identity. There you go.
I discovered that he was arrested in Armenia for trafficking in stolen art and was supposed to be arraigned in January. Once again, he changed his identity and vanished.
You are correct, mademoiselle. He also told me that he was threatened, and that threatening letter we found in his room was real. He had to disappear once again.
Why did the murderer leave the money? It was too risky to take it. The motive is not money. The motive is not money.
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
So, Detective Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
Revenge!
Revenge seems like an obvious motive to me. The murderer carefully followed Wadi from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Wadi's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis. We have an idea of the motive. It is the same motive as that of our 12 would-be murderers on the train. But we still must know who was under that mask.
The same murderer who killed Ratchet and murder hired to Ratchet? Let's jump to a conclusion.
I think Wadi's killer is also Ratchet's murderer. The motive for both deaths was revenge, and both are related to the Armstrong case through the ransom money.
Exactly. So our murderer is linked to the Armstrong case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me.
Who do these glasses belong to? She said they were women's glasses, so the nanny?
I know. I've seen these. They belong to Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom, but they were gone the day she died.
I remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet, or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now, Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself
So someone killed Suzanne?
Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
Trophies, future fake evidence. I mean, if we're just spitballing theories, you
In my
know.
investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in one of Ratchet's hideouts, and now Suzanne's glasses end up in this bag, which was a delivery to
We're just spitballing theories, you know. We're just jumping to conclusions. Both feet.
Keeping an object belonging to his victims as a memento of the murder. He was a fetishistic killer, a trophy hunter. Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
I mean, you've just made it a massive
The bag only
assumption.
contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Wadi worked.
Wadi was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed. Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police.
Oh, that would assume that they.
Explaining to do.
And after that?
A visit to Geneva, perhaps?
Potentially. The murder's still on the train. Venice, December 18th, 2023, 11:49. Hello, Mr. Book. Poirot in jeans and a scarf. It's disgraceful.
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
Excellent. Let's not waste any more time. We have to make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
The audacity. The audacity. It is very beautiful.
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
Mon ami, he was not well liked.
Oh, yeah.
Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another 10
He did get
people
off the
milling
train
about,
at
taking their turn and
Microids.
stabbing him. How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
Yeah. He smoked.
13th killer could have acted when Michel was smoking on the platform at Vinkovsky. But
Vinkovsky.
even after the train departed, Michel was absent from his post at the end of the corridor several times the night of the murder. I must know where he really was and when.
Is the murderer still on the train? Like I said, we're throwing theories out
He
there.
most certainly returned to the train.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious.
Possibly a staff member.
I hope Mr. Poirot agrees.
Please continue, Detective Locke.
What is the proof the murderer is still on the train? He ran in the direction of the Venezia railway station. His best ticket out of Italy is aboard the train. There is no one missing from the train. There is no one
All
missing
the
from the
passengers and crew are
train.
still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Wadi had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I
There's 12
change my
murderers.
mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No. No. Oh, it's a nightmare.
Let us take it
Collusion.
step by step, my friend. We can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury.
So Arbuthnot, Debenham, Dragomoff, Michelle, Masterman, Queen, Hubbard, Hardman, Boscorelli, Adrienne, Miss Olsen, Miss Schmidt. So yeah, it's just the staff really.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
And the doctor.
If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with 7 additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
I agree. We must reduce our list.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
No.
Good job. Book,
worked hard to get me aboard the train. He is definitely not a suspect.
No.
Fantastic. Mademoiselle Locke cannot be a suspect. She pursued Mr. Waddy's murderer.
He told me about the stabbing. Why would he tell me?
Right. Dr. Constantine alerted me
There we
to
go.
the 13th stab wound. He is not a suspect.
Because if he'd have done it, he didn't have to tell me.
I have 4 suspects left who I must now examine more closely. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché, and Countess Andrény.
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All
Mr.
3
Michel,
got
what
off
did
the
you do? You know
train
what I
in
mean?
Venice to restock supplies. Any one of them might have slipped away without being noticed.
I suppose. But what of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice. So, we still have 4 suspects to interview. Detective Locke?
I can't join you, Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my involvement. He's demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by all means.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call for my compartment. If you're looking for me, I'll be there.
Okay.
I hate to say this, Poirot, but I must. There is, of course, one other suspect with a motive for murder. The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to stop there. Apparently we're investigating a 13th murder, which is a very interesting way to revitalise a very old story. So bravo for that. So next time we will be wrapping this up, hopefully. But thank you very much for joining me for Murder Mystery Monday. I will be back in a fortnight with some more Murder on the Orient Express. We will be investigating the 13th murder and finding out what the heck that's all about. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. If you would like to hang out some more, there is an end card coming up, the link back into my channel. You can chuck me a little subscribe there. I have got some completed games on there recently, Death's Door, Disco Elysium, stuff like that. You can check me out there, and I will be starting a new series very soon. So thank you very much for watching me. Have a lovely week. Bye bye.